Hello everyone, this is Andrew at Crown Academy of English. Today we are doing a vocabulary lesson and the subject is phrasal verbs with put. So phrasal verbs are verbs with two words. So there is a verb and then a particle. And a particle is either an adverb or a preposition. Example, put on. So this is a phrasal verb, put on. So we can see it's made up of a verb, put, and a particle, on. So here is an example. Jane is putting on the light. So this means, this photograph shows you the meaning. So it means to start a light or to make a light operate by pressing on the on button. Okay, so that's the meaning. And we can see, so the light is the object of the phrasal verb. So the form is the verb, then the particle, and then the object. In this case, it's the light. But we can also have a different order. We can also say that the particle can also come after the object. So this form is also possible. Verb, object, and then the particle. Example. The same example. Jane is putting the light on. Jane is putting the light on. The verb, the object, and then the particle. So both of these sentences, they are both correct and they both mean exactly the same thing. So in most cases, we have a choice of the order, either this order or this order. Let's look at now 7 examples of phrasal verbs with the verb put. So we can have put on an item of clothing. And with the other order, we can also say put an item of clothing on. So this is the alternative form. And it means simply the action of placing an item of clothing on the body. So to dress. Example. Jane is putting on her socks. So this is an example with this order. So we have the verb, the particle, and then the object. And we can also say it as Jane is putting her socks on. So this time we are using this form. The verb, the object, and then the particle. Sarah is putting on lipstick. So we can also use this phrasal verb for accessories or makeup. And the alternative form is Sarah is putting lipstick on. Sarah is putting lipstick on. The verb, the object, and then the particle. Example 2. Put on. And we have already seen this example. So this means to start a light or an electrical device. And it's often by pressing a button, the on button. So please put on the light. And we can also use the other form, please put the light on. And here is an example with an electrical device. He put on the television and watched a film. Or we can say, he put the television on and watched a film. I have a question for you. What verb tense is this? He put. Is this the present? Is it the future? Is it the past? Well, the answer is, it is, in fact, it's the past simple. And the clue is because this second verb is also in the past simple. So we know it's happening in the past. So there are in fact two actions in the past. And put is an irregular verb. So the past simple form is also put. And so is the past participle. It is put. So we could say, he has put the television on. Okay, so it's an irregular verb. Phrasal verb 3 out of 7. Put on weight. Or put weight on. Same meaning. And it means to become fatter. To become heavier. Mark put on weight during Christmas. And we can also write, Mark put weight on during Christmas. Okay, so it means he got fatter. And again, this is an example with the past simple tense. Okay? Phrasal verb 4. To put off an event, or to put an event off. So this means to organize an event for a later date or time. For a later date or time. So in other words, we are postponing an event. So we are not doing an event today, we are going to do it later. Jane is ill. We have put off her birthday party until next week. We have put off her birthday party until next week. So her birthday party, this is the object. It's a noun phrase, and this refers to the event. Okay? So this is the phrasal verb, put off. And this is an example in the present perfect. Okay? So this is the past participle. And the alternative form, Jane is ill. We have put her birthday party off until next week. Until next week. So we are not doing, we are not having the birthday party today. No, because Jane is ill. We will do it next week. We have put it off until next week. Number 5. To put out a fire. Or to put a fire out. And it means to stop a fire. To extinguish a fire. The firefighters are putting out the fire. Or the firefighters are putting the fire out. Okay? So this time, this is the present continuous. And notice the form. We double the T and add ing. Number 6. To put up someone. Or to put someone up. So what does this mean? Well, in fact, it means to allow someone to stay in your home. to accommodate someone. So when you invite someone to stay in your home for a short period of time, temporarily. Jane says, "I'm coming to London next week. Could you put me up for a few days?" Sarah replies, "Yes, of course." So Jane is asking if she can stay at Sarah's home for a few days. Could you put me up? This is a very, very common and useful expression. Notice here that in this example, the object is in fact a personal pronoun, me. So when the object is a personal pronoun, then the form is always verb, object, particle. Verb, object, particle. This is the only choice if the object is a personal pronoun. Put me up. So this is correct. It's this one. Okay? And we cannot use the other form. We cannot use this if the object is a personal pronoun. So put up me is wrong. This is a big mistake. So we cannot say, could you put up me for a few days? No, that is wrong. And this rule is a rule for all phrasal verbs. All phrasal verbs. So if the object is a personal pronoun, then we use the form verb, object, particle. Phrasal verb 7. Put up with something or put up with someone. And this means to accept something bad or someone bad without complaining. So we are accepting a bad situation that we don't like, but we are forced to accept it. We don't like it, but we accept it. And for a 3-word phrasal verb, the object is always after the particle. So notice that this is a special case. This phrasal verb has 3 words. We have the verb and there are 2 particles. So when it's like this, when there are 3 words, then the object is always after the 2 particles. This is the only order that we can have. Example of the meaning. Mark hates his job, but he puts up with it. He puts up with it. So he doesn't like his job, but he doesn't have a choice. He doesn't like it, but he is forced to accept it. So he doesn't really complain. Sarah isn't very nice, but Jane puts up with her. Okay? So this is Sarah. She's not very nice. And this is Jane. So Jane doesn't really like Sarah, but Jane puts up with her. Jane puts up with Sarah. Okay, she doesn't really like her, but she pretends to like her. She hasn't really a choice. She accepts her. She accepts her. Okay, so put up with something or put up with someone. Okay, so that's the end of the lesson. So if you would like some online English lessons, perhaps you have some questions or problems, or perhaps you want some speaking practice, or you're preparing for an exam, if that's the case, then you can click here for the prices. Okay.